registration. Yeah. So the same example, but I use jQuery, so you won't see all these functions. Okay, all these functions because we don't need. Okay, after jQuery will do that for you automatically. All right, and here this one. Let me change the pen color a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So this one, as I said last time. Yeah. So first, this grabber function, basically we set up, right? So we do event registration. How to make the GUI components have the event listening capability, right? By default, the GUI components do not have the event listening capability, right? Yeah. But this function will make it, yeah, will do that. So we call the registration, okay? Event handler registration. So we will, connect it, make it with the capability. So those components, those GUI components can, can listen to the certain events. Yeah. So they will, active related to certain events. Yeah. Here, what events? 2 events. Okay, mouse up event. Okay, mouse up, double quotes. That's event name. Yeah. When mouse up events happens, then you trigger an event. An event is triggered. Okay, trigger. All right. Another event, mouse up. Okay. Because mouse up means you release the button, right? When you release the button, mouse up event occurs. Yeah. So that event triggers another event handler called a dropper event handler. Okay. So the first event triggers mover event handler. Okay, 2. Yeah, we need 2 event handlers. Yeah. All right. So what are these 2 lines here? The 2 lines I put here, it's outside this function. It's not inside this function. Okay. Yeah. So these 2 lines are outside that function. Okay. All right. But the reason I put here is these 2 lines are the key lines in these 2 event handlers, mover, dropper, yeah, the key logic lines. Okay, yeah. Other parts, just routine work. Okay, routine work. Yeah, because you need to do this kind of thing all the time, right? Routine. But these 2 lines, the main logic, we need to. Yeah, so I put it here. Yeah. All right, so to help you understand a little more, yeah. If you need things like this, so then you can modify the code. After you understand, so you can modify your code. Yeah. All right, so let's continue. Move to the next slide. Yeah. Next slide, then I want to talk about our first programming project. Practice, warm up, make all students, prepared for the second, our goal is second project. Yeah, but you need to get your knowledge ready for the second project. Yeah. So draw tangram puzzle using CSS. Yeah. So this is a part of the project. The first step, you need to draw that puzzle, tangram. Famous Chinese ancient puzzle, okay? Yeah, tangram. So we break one square into 7 pieces in this way, okay? In that way. Yeah. The good thing about this tangrams is, so if you break the pieces, so you rearrange those pieces, you can make large number of different interesting figures. Yeah. So here, I just put, some of the figures you can make using the, tangram puzzle pieces. Yeah. Actually, there are thousands of different figures. Yeah. This one I found a website. So there is a website, so you can play around there. Okay. So you go there. So you know, if your target is one of the figures, so you can rearrange the pieces to make it, or you can order a tangram puzzle, so then you can work on the real puzzle, yeah, to make different shapes. Yeah. So for our project, we just make one target figure. Okay, yeah. So here, our target, for example, our target figure is here. Okay, yeah, some shape. Yeah. So then you need to use drag and drop. Yeah. So each piece you drag, move to the target location. Yeah. So when you move, then you may need to change the rotation, rotate the angle. Okay, yeah. So things like that. Yeah, yeah. So then, and some supporting features if you need to add. Okay. So what's that supporting feature? Because when you click one of the 7 pieces, so you want to make it a current piece, right? So this piece is the current piece. I want to work on this one. So to make a current piece, how do you mark it as a current piece, right? So you need to put some special mark on it, okay? Some special mark on the current piece. So the user can say, oh, this is the current piece. So then I work on the current piece, yeah. Things like that. So some related supporting features. So you need to, make it very user-friendly. Yeah. So because in that way, you need to use JavaScript functions. You practice your JavaScript function. And you use a JavaScript function to modify CSS properties. Yeah. Because when you do rotation, you need to change a CSS property to get a rotation. Rotation certain degree, right? How to change the degree, right? So for those little things, so you need to write a code to make it happen. Okay, yeah, just as a practice. Yeah, but so this practice project, first, I do not want to make it very hard. Yeah. Not very hard because it's a warm-up project, right? So we should not make a warm-up project very hard. First thing. Second, it should not be trivial, right? It should not be too easy. Not interesting. Yeah. So there is some difficulty, yeah, some technical challenges, but small technical challenges. Yeah. So then it's not that boring, right? So because you need to overcome some technical difficulties, right? The first thing, how do you use CSS? So here, how do you use CSS to draw these shapes? That's the first challenge, right? Each piece, yeah. W3 School, if you go to the CSS page, there is one shape section, shape tab. So you click that, it will show you how to draw these shapes. Okay? It will give you sample examples. W3 Schools, okay? CSS tutorial section, there is a shapes, yeah, shapes tab, okay? Link tab, yeah, one page, yeah, show you all the details, how to draw these shapes, okay? Yeah. And if you search web, not that hard, okay? Yeah. So then, try to figure out all the steps. Yeah. So if you have any question, you ask me technical questions. So I can answer your questions. Yeah. All right. So that's our programming project, the first one. Yeah. All right. So next, the last topic, B.4, PHP and Apache server. So regarding the Apache server, last time I said it's second in the market, right? So then one student asked me, what is the first one? Yeah, now I searched the web, so I give you that information. So I show you this statistics. Yeah. That's the most recent statistics, January. Yeah. 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 Today, right? Yeah. Today, now you can see the top one is this Lynx. Yeah. Lynx 33.9%. Apache second, 27%. Yeah. I remember 10 something years ago, Apache, its market share is 40 something percent. So at that time, very high. Yeah, about 10 years ago. Yeah. So then, every year going down. Yeah, every year going down. Yeah. The reason I explained the last time, yeah, because many companies, they want to move to higher level web servers. Apache, that's the basic level. Okay, no advanced features, all basic features. Yeah. So it's free, So, every company you just use it for free. Yeah. And it's powerful, it's robust, very, very robust, stable, secure, very secure. Okay. Yeah. The quality is very high. Yeah. But the main problem is it does not have a lot of advanced features. Yeah. Industry, yeah, the advanced features I cannot specify, just for the company. So high level company, they want high level services. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's this question. Next, let me briefly explain how PHP works. So when you work on it, so how these software communicate. So then you will feel more comfortable. Okay. Yeah. So give you some background information how PHP works. Now, so give you the basic knowledge about PHP. First, we call it server-side scripting language. Yeah. Programming, yeah, we write the code. Yeah. We write the script. Yeah. Write the code, the script. Yeah. But when you hear this word script, you can connect in this way. So why we call scripting? Yeah. Java we do not call scripting, right? So this one we call scripting. Yeah. The reason is the PHP code, it is not compiled, it is interpreted. Okay? Yeah. So for all the programs that are interpreted, so then people also call scripting. Okay? Interpreted. Then you do not compile. Okay? After you write the code, you execute your code directly without compilation. For Java, we need to compile, right? Yeah, we need to compile the source code. So we execute the binary code. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Special type of binary code. But PHP, so non-compilation. Yeah. Like Python, non-compilation, right? Yeah. Just interpretation. Interpret. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So how PHP works? Yeah. Why PHP? I already explained, because the learning curve very flat. Yeah. So we can learn it easily. Yeah. Yeah. And what do we use it? We use it adding dynamic features into HTML content. Yeah. JavaScript can also add dynamic features. Yeah. So PHP also add dynamic features. Yeah. So we compare a little bit. Okay. JavaScript also adds the dynamic features. You know the dynamic features, right? Yeah. Yeah. Actions, right? Yeah. All different kinds of actions. Yeah. Okay. All right. Dynamic features, but the difference is JavaScript add from the client side. Okay. From the client side. Yeah. And the PHP from the server side. From the server side. Question? Andy? I mentioned both. Yeah. When I say compilation, I mention Java. Yeah. When I talk about dynamic features, I say JavaScript. Yeah. They are different. Yeah. First, let me clarify. Yeah. For some students, so they may not know the difference. Yeah. They're completely two different programming languages. Yeah. Because for some beginners, relatively confusing because they have that common word Java, right? Common word Java, but completely two different programming languages. Java is a server-side programming language. Java, server-side. Okay? Java, we do not use Java. Java at the client side. First, I hope you know client side, server side, right? Yeah, client. But Java is not used at the client side. Java only used at the server side. Yeah. But the JavaScript is mainly used at the client side. So here, mainly used because there is some small portion JavaScript can also be used at the server side. Yeah. Very small portion. Yeah. But the mainstream at the client side. Yeah. And Java and the JavaScript, actually these two programming languages are completely two different programming languages, but there is some small relationship. Why they have the same word Java? Small relationship. So the reason is JavaScript became popular earlier at the late 90s. Java became very popular. The industry buzzword, Java. The reason is at that time, web programming, the content was almost static. The web pages, can only show static information. So almost no dynamic features at that time. Okay, you only display pages. Okay? Yeah. If you want to see something different, you need to change to a different page and so on. Okay, although there is some small portion dynamic features, but use the CGI, old technology, CGI technology, to do the dynamic feature at early time. Yeah. So because the CGI, what it can do very limited. It cannot do fancy dynamic features. Only small, limited dynamic features. Yeah. So then, in late 90s, Java developed In Java, it developed a sub-technology. Yeah. So in the big Java technology, there is a small block. There's a sub-technology called Java applets. Java applets. Yeah. Right now, almost nobody uses that. Okay, almost nobody uses that. But at that time, Java applets is a big hit in industry. Yeah. So, Java applets. Okay. That's, yeah. So what Java applet can do, it works at the client side. Okay, but the code needs to be compiled. Okay, after the Java code is compiled, the compiled code can be embedded at the client side. Then at the client side, then it can do a lot of fancy features, just like the desktop applications. So it can embed a small desktop application in the web page. Then at that time, this is a big improvement. Yeah. Suddenly, it makes the web pages very interesting. For example, Java applet can broadcast sports games live broadcasting. Okay? Yeah, because you have a desktop, just like you embedded desktop web application in your web page, then, I remember at that time I watched many baseball games. Yeah. First inning, second inning, hit home run, you can see that. Yeah. Not like television. Television you see, without any delay, right? But that broadcasting usually, probably a few, 2 or 3 minutes delay. Not the real time. Because some people need to enter the data, right? Enter the data to send the data, then display. Okay? So now but it's good enough. Yeah. So that's the reason Java became very hot in late 90s. Yeah. Then that Java world is extremely hot. Everybody in the industry talk about Java. Okay, late 90s. Then there was a group of people, they want to develop a scripting language for web pages. Scripting language. So scripting, interpretation. The web browser, they want to develop a scripting language inside the web browser to handle the dynamic features from the client side. But when we develop that language, they want to give a name to that scripting language, right? Yeah. First, they call the name called live script. Live script. That's the initial name. Yeah. So then, but when they design the syntax, they use the Java style. So how do you do the operation, addition, concatenation, those basic operations? They use the Java way. Okay? They copy, mainly from the Java, yeah. So then, all right. So later, after some time, several versions, then someone suggests, how about we change our live script to JavaScript? Okay, because there's some connection. They use the Java syntax, okay, related to Java. But the most important reason is because they want to use the hot Java word to make their technology very popular. After that, after they changed the name, JavaScript. So many people confused with Java, but that helped that language a lot, right? Yeah, because they have the word Java, so everyone wants to learn. Okay, yeah. So currently, it is in the job market, job skills, IT job, top job skill in IT, JavaScript. Okay, and for the recent several years, always that JavaScript. Okay, yeah, because the reason for the server-side programming language, there are several. Server-side, there are many. I mentioned big three share the market, right? So Java, big three, server-side, big three. Okay, yeah, server-side, big three. Yeah. Side, big three. Java is one. Okay, C#, second, PHP. So these big three, they share the whole server side market. Actually, there are some, small players. Ruby on Rails, some small players share the market. But the client side, for the dynamic feature, only one, JavaScript. Okay? So you don't have other options, only JavaScript. So that's the reason. The job skill requirement, it's the top one. Okay? Yeah. Because although we know client-side coding is much less than server-side coding. Server-side coding almost 90% of the coding. When you develop web applications, 90% of the coding is at the server side. Only about 10% coding at the client side. Because for all advanced features, you need to implement at the server side. You know, and another thing is, here we are, it's a database course. For all the database related operation, you must do it at the server side. You cannot do it at the client side because it's not secure. It's not secure. Yeah. JavaScript can access. JavaScript has the capability to access databases, but don't do it. The reason it's not secure. Okay? Because JavaScript, the code you expose to the front end, clients are front end, you know, many people can see the code, right? So you don't want to do that. Because JavaScript code, from the web browser, you can see the JavaScript code, right? Web browser, there is a view source. You right click, then view source. You can see the code of all the pages, including JavaScript code, right? So that's why you don't want to do it. You don't want to put the database password in your JavaScript functions, right? Yeah. So that's why never do it. Never access database from JavaScript. Okay. But server side, because it's hidden, right? Server side, all the code, nobody can access the server side code, and it's compiled. So you know, the source code is compiled. Okay. Yeah. So then you cannot see, you cannot access. Yeah. So then, that's some basic information. Although I spent quite some time, but I'll give you some basic information. Okay? Yeah. So draw that overall picture for you. Okay? Help you understand the overall picture here. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's continue. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So then, how to use PHP? Yeah. All right. So the PHP code, the structure. So let's look at the structure. The PHP, we use this way: embed PHP code into HTML content. Yeah. So you start with the HTML file. Yeah. When you start, you start with an HTML file. Okay, blank HTML file. Then you embed the PHP code in this HTML file. Okay? Yeah. So using the special PHP tags, the PHP tag like this. Yeah. Opening tag, you know, the less than sign question mark. Yeah. So then add a PHP. Yeah. But this PHP actually is optional. Yeah. So even you do not write this PHP, still you can use it. But it's highly recommended you write PHP because you want to make it stand out. Okay, so you want to make it make the code switching, you know, stand out clearly. Right? Yeah. Otherwise, it's buried. It's buried in your HTML code. It's hard to find. You know, where is my PHP code? Right? So that's why most people still include that after question mark, include that PHP. Yeah. So you can find the starting point quickly, right? Yeah. All right. So then, but you need to close it. When you close, so you do not need to add a PHP. Yeah. This question mark, then close. Then, in this environment, then you can write, you know, using the PHP syntax, yeah, the function call, you know, everything you do. That's one code segment. Okay? Then in other places you can use many other code segments, right? In one file we can embed multiple code segments like that. Okay. So you add dynamic features. Here one, another, you know, different places you add dynamic features. All right, so that's the structure. So then, how to execute PHP code? After you complete a PHP program, then actually, so here I need to add a little bit information. So the file name, you need to use the .php extension. I may mention later. .php extension. So you save your file as a .php file. Okay? Because when you start, it's HTML content, but when you save as a .php extension file. Otherwise, if you do not store it as a .php file, it won't be treated as a PHP file. Okay? It won't be treated. If it does not use PHP extension, then it will be treated as a non-PHP file. Okay? Well, non-PHP file, it will be ignored. Okay? So it's important. This extension is important. All right. Then you need to interpret it, right? You need to apply some tool to interpret your PHP code. So what's that tool? Interpreting PHP code. It's called a PHP engine. There is when you download the PHP software, it contains PHP engine. Okay? Engine interpreting, all the tools, everything. PHP engine. Okay? So call PHP engine. How to call PHP engine? So here I draw the step by step. Call. The first step, call PHP file. That's at the client side. At the client side, we call. At the client side, okay? At the client side, how do we call? At the URL, so we type the domain name, the website domain name, / something, that we need to access PHP file, okay? abc.php, that's the way we call PHP file, okay? Call PHP file explicitly in that way. So we type the path, URL, and the end of URL, we access a PHP file, certain PHP file. So that means we call PHP file from the client side. Okay, all right. All right. So the way we call, usually we do not type. So we do not ask user type PHP file. Usually we click hyperlink. That hyperlink will call that PHP file. Okay, you just do some action. That action will call PHP file. Okay, so you do not type URL. Okay, nobody wants to type that URL. All right, so you call PHP file first, then Apache server, because when you call it, you send a request to Apache server. Okay, the request goes to Apache server directly. But after Apache server receives your request, in that request, the server detects there is a .php extension, right? So that's why that extension is important. After Apache server detects that PHP extension, then Apache server will send it to PHP engine. If you do not have the PHP extension, Apache server won't send it to PHP engine. Okay? So you need to use the extension, correct extension. Then, after PHP engine receives that request, because the PHP engine can access the PHP file, okay, can find it in the server location. The URL tells the server location, so the PHP engine can access the PHP file, then interpret it line by line, process the content. When the PHP engine processes the HTML content, bypass. Don't do anything on HTML content. Okay, do nothing. Only process the content inside PHP tags. In the PHP environment, then the PHP engine interpret, execute the code. Those PHP code may generate the content, right? Some of the PHP code can generate the HTML content. The generated HTML content will be put together with the original HTML content. You have an original HTML page, but this part, the PHP code generated new HTML content. So then you put the new content there and keep going after you complete process, after the PHP engine completes processing the whole page. So the PHP engine returns the whole processed result. It's a result. After processing, the result. The result has the HTML format, right? HTML format. So the PHP engine returns the HTML content back to Apache server. Back to Apache server. Next step. Interpretation. So then content. So HTML result. So return. And Apache server send it back to the user. Client, browser, user. So the browser display the PHP content. That's the whole thing, how it works behind the scene. Okay? So that, so you need this background information to help you on the, so when you write a PHP program, so you know how it works. All right? Execute PHP file in the file. So here just a little more information. How does Apache process a PHP file? PHP extension. I already mentioned that. Because in that flow, I need to use this information. So I give you earlier. After Apache detects, pass it to engine for processing. So then PHP engine bypasses HTML content. Okay, HTML content. There is no change inside HTML content, and your JavaScript code can be embedded in the HTML content, right? The JavaScript code we treat it as the HTML content because you may write some JavaScript functions in your HTML content. So that part, skip it by the PHP engine. Okay? It does not. It does not, do any change on your JavaScript code. All right. And also CSS code. CSS code also skip it by the PHP engine. All right. So then process code and the returns result content to Apache. Apache returns response to the client. So then the return result, that's completely PHP content. Okay? The return result does not contain any PHP code. Nothing. So you cannot see any PHP related content in the return result. All right. So the browser at the client side renders HTML content. Because the browser does not know how to handle the PHP code. Okay? The browser does not know how to handle the PHP code. Okay? So the browser can handle the code, HTML content, containing JavaScript functions and the CSS code. The browser can handle that. But no PHP code. All right. So that, that's the, part B, end of part B. Okay, some basic information. All right. This weekend, I want to give you the first quiz. The first quiz Okay. Yeah. The first quiz, part A. Part A, nothing, right? Part A, nothing. Part B. Yeah. So this only one part B. Part B, part C, I only start a little bit. Yeah. So part C, I didn't start much. Part C. But the part C, yeah, let me see how much time. I have 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes. Yeah, let me see. Let me see if we have enough content for the first quiz. Probably I want to delay another week, yeah, because we only complete part B, right? Part C, we only start a little bit. Yeah. If we delay another week, so we can have more content. Okay, yeah. So let's delay another week. Okay, because the first week we do nothing, right? First week just the syllabus. So the first week, no content. First week. So this is second week. So then at the end of the third week, so we can do our first quiz. Okay. All right, yeah, so let's move to, move to part C. Part C, I want to talk about jQuery a little bit. All right, so jQuery. So the goal of the jQuery, make your JavaScript coding more efficient. So that's the design goal of this jQuery technology. Yeah. So you can treat it as a sub-technology inside JavaScript. JavaScript big umbrella. Yeah. On the JavaScript big umbrella, there are several sub-technologies. Okay? Yeah. jQuery is one of the sub-technologies. Yeah. But because it's very popular. First, very powerful. If you use it, you can do a lot of things. Yeah. Efficiently. Yeah. All right. So then, what approach jQuery takes? Yeah. So its slogan is write less, do more. That's the slogan used by jQuery. Write less, do more. Okay. Yeah. So when you write your code, it designs some efficient way to compress the code. Okay. Yeah. Make it relatively simple. Yeah. You don't need to write a lot of code. Okay? It is simplified. For example, in that drag and drop, we do not need to write all the drag and drop code, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So that's so write less, do more. So you can do, a lot more than the regular JavaScript. So a lot of advanced features, yeah. So you can use the jQuery to do it. Yeah. All right. So that's we need to learn. Yeah. So here, how to use? Yeah. To use jQuery. Yeah. So very easy. Yeah. All right. Two different ways. One way, the first way, downloading jQuery. Yeah. So you include. Yeah. So first way, you download the whole package, jQuery. So the file is not very big, okay? The file, not a big file, okay? Yeah. Yeah. It's relatively small, yeah. So you can download, okay? The jQuery. Then you include it in your web server or your web application. Yeah. So here. So here, there is some basic knowledge. Yeah. So here, because today I do not have much time, so I don't want to cover, too much basic knowledge. Yeah. So I may delay a little bit, because when I say after you download it, where do you put it, right? So put appropriate location. So your web application can access it. But what's that appropriate location? Okay, so then I need to explain that. But that appropriate location I may delay. So later I may have a chance to explain what's that appropriate location. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So here, after you download, if the file, because this is the file of the jQuery, okay? Yeah. So here I just use as an example. The version, the minimum, it is compressed, minimum .js file, okay? Yeah. So it will include it. So here it means this file is in the same directory as the current file, okay? Current HTML file. Yeah. So this one we assume in an HTML file. We assume it's in an HTML file, okay? All right. So then it's available there, yeah. But usually people put in the folder, JS folder. Usually people put all the JavaScript files in the JS folder. But here, for us, so we can skip that part. All right. But the second way also very popular. Second way called the CDN way. CDN way. Many people use this way to include different libraries. So what's that? It's called content delivery network. That is, we do not download. Okay? When we need to use jQuery, how about we access jQuery remotely through URL remotely, right? So the CDN way is we access one specific technology remotely, okay? CDN way. So that is, you just need to include the URL. So here it's the Google copy of the jQuery, okay? Yeah, in the Google website location. Yeah. But we just include this line. When we need to use the jQuery, we download it from that Google website. Okay? But when you download it, you only need to download it once. The web browser download it once. Then it buffers it. After it is downloaded, web browser put it in a buffer. Okay, put there. So later, other pages, if you need to use the jQuery, use access from the buffer. Okay, access from the. You do not need to go to Google website, download another time. Okay, there is a buffer. Temporary stored that downloaded jQuery. This is the CDN way. Okay, CDN way. So many people use this way. Yeah. Use this way. The convenience of this way is, for example, when I write a project, our 10-gram project, okay, I need to use jQuery, okay, all right. So when I send my file to one of my friends, I want to show, so one of my friends, I don't want to send jQuery, right? Yeah, in that one, it's better we use CDN, because we just embed CDN. When my friend click it, then downloads from the Google website, right? So we do not need to include the jQuery, right? So the CDN way, very convenient. Yeah. Yeah. Very convenient for in this situation. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Code conversion. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So here, we use the here, new example. I haven't uploaded a new example. New example, this is our old example, okay? Drag and drop.html. I added this JQ after drag and drop. That's the jQuery version, okay? After you download, you run this JQ version. So I modified our original example to make it that jQuery version, JQ version, okay? All right. Yeah. So then I add CDN link. Yeah. So in this file, I need to add CDN jQuery link into it. Yeah. Then I need to modify our old version of drag-and-drop.js to the newer version, the JQ version. In the JQ version, we do not need all the code. We only need to register the component, the GUI components. So what components we want to apply drag and drop feature? So we need to tell jQuery, okay? Yeah. So we need to find a way to tell jQuery. Yeah. We only want to apply drag and drop on these components. Covered by jQuery selection. Yeah. How do you select those components? jQuery has some special way to let you do the selection. Yeah. So we use that. Yeah. I will talk about the selection way later. Yeah. All right? Yeah. So then you connect this JS file to that HTML file. Then it's the newer version, jQuery version. Right? Yeah. 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 So then convert all JavaScript function to jQuery version. Yeah. That's for the general case. Yeah. In this example, because we do not need to use those functions, right? So we do not do the conversion. Yeah. For the general other cases, yeah. So you may need to write in jQuery syntax. jQuery is just different syntax. So you need to get used to it. Very easy to learn, yeah, but you need to get used to it. Yeah. Yeah. jQuery syntax, let's talk about that. Yeah, approach. Yeah. The structure of the jQuery syntax. We use this kind of standard structure. Yeah. Very simple. Yeah. The first, yeah. So here the approach, yeah, the structure description of the structure is like this. Select HTML elements. Yeah. So query, yeah, actually select. Yeah. Select or query, same thing here. HTML elements and perform actions on these selected elements. That's the structure. Okay. Two parts. Selection part and the action part. Okay. Two parts. Yeah. The syntax. Yeah. Then the basic syntax is like this. $sign. Yeah. You always start with the $sign. The $sign tells the web browser this is the jQuery code. Okay? Yeah. So when you see the $sign after $sign a pair of parentheses, that's the structure. Okay? That structure tells the web browser this is the jQuery code. Okay? So you need to call the jQuery library to interpret this code. So that is important. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Then inside parentheses, you specify selector. Yeah. There are several ways to select your elements. Yeah. So we call it selector. We will talk about selector next. All right. Then dot, after that selector, dot, action. The function name, action means a function. Okay. You call a jQuery function. Okay. So that function corresponds to action. So then you call that function, so you do some specific action. That basic structure, syntax. All right. Yeah. So the $sign access jQuery. Yeah. Selector to query or find HTML elements. Yeah. Selector. Yeah. So we will study that selector. Several types of selector. But to understand selector, you need to have some CSS background. It uses the CSS knowledge, CSS way to define selectors. So for students, if you are very new to CSS, yeah, so you may need to study the basics of CSS tutorial in W3 schools to get started. Yeah, yeah. So this week, because I do not give you any assignment, so I ask those beginner students. Yeah, so part of the students, beginner students, So you should study, the CSS tutorials, yeah, and also review some HTML knowledge and JavaScript basic knowledge, all in W3 schools. Okay, yeah. So you do some self-study. Yeah. Yeah. Because I give you some code. You use my code, and then you use the W3 schools to help you understand my code, right? Yeah. So, because in my code, I need to use some knowledge. Yeah. So then you need to go to the W3 school to find the meaning. What's the meaning? Okay, all right. Yeah. Then a jQuery action to be performed on the elements. Yeah. Action, function name. Yeah. Yeah. Here, example. Yeah. In this example, I show you the selector, and also I include another small example. Yeah. So today I will give you two examples. Second example, yeah, mainly about a jQuery basic feature. Yeah. You can practice. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Look at this example. $. This is the keyword. This keyword. Yeah. This means, yeah, in the current object. Okay. Yeah. For example, you click a button. The button you click, that's this object. Okay, this object. So then you work on another GUI component. Then this refers to that GUI component. So this, okay, all right. So yeah, parenthesis this is one special way you select a component. Then hide function. Hide is a function. Hide function. So from the name, the component disappears. Okay, you hide it. Okay, the component disappears. So one function, you call this function, it's gone, right? Yeah. But in JavaScript, you can do the same thing, but you need to write more code. Okay? JavaScript, when you need to hide a component, then you control the CSS property. Then you need to change the property. You need to do a little more. Okay? So the jQuery simplifies it. So hide, it's gone. Okay? Yeah. Don't need to write other code. Yeah. Only you call hide function, it's gone. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hide the current element. Then another selector, double quotes. Inside double quotes here we use P. That means double quotes P means you want to access element with P tag. So inside double quotes, that's the tag name. Tag name. Yeah. HTML tags, you have a lot of tags, right? The paragraph we use P tag. Okay, yeah. So this way you hide all P elements. You hide all P elements. Okay? That's because your selector cover all the P elements. Okay? All the P elements with P tag. Okay? All right. The third one, dot. Dot, we know in CSS, dot refers to class, right? When you define a class, you use this dot operator. Dot test means you want to select all the classes with test name. Yeah. Test is the class name. Yeah. So you want to hide all the elements with class equal the test name. Yeah. That dot, the way you select. Okay. Then the last case, dollar, you put a sharp sign, yeah. Sharp or pound sign. Yeah. Dot. Then you refer to the elements with ID. Yeah. Because in CSS, this sharp sign refers to ID element. ID, the element with ID test. So that's the jQuery selection way related to CSS. All right. Okay, so then you call the actions. Hide and show. Right? You call show that. So you show that hidden element again. So hide, then show the hidden element. Yeah. So here, I'll give you an example, hide and show example. Yeah. Very simple. So in this example, I use two different ways to implement hide and show. One button hide, another button show. But I use the regular JavaScript way and jQuery way. So two different ways. So you can compare in my code. Yeah. Later I will show you the demo a little bit. Yeah. Very simple. Yeah. All right. So the regular JavaScript version, yeah. So here, I work on an image. The image is the Tangram image. Yeah. So here I use that Tangram image. Okay. Yeah. But in that Tangram image, I use the style, yeah, CSS, right? We use style to add CSS properties. Yeah. Here, the property, we use the display property. The property value, display property, colon, after colon, it's the value of this property, block value. When the display property has the block value, then this element is visible. You can see it. It's visible. Block property, visible, right? Yeah. So then, if you change this property to none, change the block to none, then it's invisible. Yeah. So you hide it. Yeah. You change from block to none, you hide it. If you change from none back to block, you show it. That's the regular JavaScript way, right? But how to change? You can see this slide. You use the document object in JavaScript. Document is an object. Okay, document, the high level, the top level document object. Okay, then you call its function get element by ID. You access the element by ID. So what ID? ID here. ID is this 10 left LF. Left tangram, right, we have two tangrams, left one and the right one. So here we work on the left one, okay? All right, so 10 LF. Dot style, we access its style, attribute, the CSS properties. Which property we want to access? Display property, okay? We want to change its display value. So what's the new value? This is the new value, okay? So we change that. It becomes invisible. Yeah. It disappears. Yeah. All right, so that's the regular Java way. If we want to bring it back, then we change it back. Okay? We click another button, we change the value back to block. So it becomes visible again. Yeah. That's the regular JavaScript version. Okay? Yeah. jQuery version, very simple. Yeah. jQuery version, yeah. Yeah. You access the jQuery, we use the right tangram. Left, so right one, that's the jQuery version. 10 RT, right hand side, tangram. Its ID is this. Yeah, so we access its ID. Then we call hide function. It's gone. Yeah. We want to bring it back. Yeah, so we show that we bring it back. Yeah, so that's simple. Okay. Yeah. So this is your, get you started on that jQuery. Okay? Get started.
So the jQuery library is a bunch of JavaScript functions.
Yes.
And this is just calling that function. That's all we're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easy
Yes.
to understand.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Bunch of JavaScript functions. Yeah. Easy to understand. Yeah. Yeah. Just get used to it. Yeah. After you practice, yeah. So when you have chance, practice. But even, yeah, because when people get used to jQuery, they love that jQuery. So they don't want to use the regular JavaScript. Yeah. But my suggestion is you should be familiar with both. Although the regular Java, the old way, not efficient. Yeah, we understand not efficient. Yeah. But sometimes, in some special situation, probably the older way, a little better. The new way, because it hides a lot of things, you lose the control, right? Yeah.
You don't know what's happening behind the scenes.
Right, you don't know what happened behind the scene. And especially when you need to do some smart modification, then you lose the control. Yeah. So you also need to know the older way. Older one. All right. Yeah. So then we only have 5 minutes. Let me show you a simple demo. So then we're done today. Yeah. All right. So the two examples. Actually, the first example, the view is the same as the old example. Yeah, because I changed to jQuery version. Yeah. But what you see, the same as the old example. Yeah. But I just show you anyway. Yeah. I'll show you anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So remember this week, study tutorials, W3 tutorial, basic tutorial, get yourself familiar with the basic web environment. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if some students are very familiar with that part, then you do not need to study, right? But for students who are not quite familiar, yeah, so you can, buy some time, right? So buy some time. Before I assign the programming project, so you have some time to get started, yeah, to prepare yourselves. Yeah. All right, yeah. So first, let me jump to those 2 pages. Yeah. All right. So all right, yeah, this drag and drop, yeah, here you can see, yeah, same as the old one, but this one's a JQ version, right? Yeah, I use the JQ version, yeah, but the look the same as the older one, yeah, yeah, but it works, okay, yeah. So with the jQuery version, it works, okay, yeah, yeah. So that's the first one. Second one, yeah, so that's the, tangram, yeah. Left tangram, right tangram, okay? Red tangram, the button, reg dash hide, okay? Yeah, regular JavaScript, hide. Reg show, JQ hide, JQ show, okay? Yeah. Hide and show, okay? That display block none, that's simple, okay? Block none. jQuery hide show. Okay, jQuery hide show. Yeah, here. Yeah. Can you see something? So if I hide, so there is some movement, right? Yeah, shift a little bit. Yeah. So it moves a little bit. Sometimes we may not like it, right? Yeah. We don't. Yeah, because if it moves a little bit, then other parts probably also changed, right? So ideal case, you don't want to, you want it fixed. You don't want that move. Yeah. Small move shift. Yeah. So this kind of little things. Yeah. If you want to write a good program, so you need to fix all those problems. But here, that's our first jQuery example. So don't worry about that. All right, yeah. So let's stop right here. Yeah. And we haven't started the database yet, but next week we will start the database, and also I want to do the first round query. Okay, first round SQL query. So next week. Yeah. All right, that's it.